Technology
Remember
really
Gap
didn't go
was
the way
talking about
that
that
we thought it would.
Clovis massacre?
No, it did
Found
not.
out where they crash landed it. Five will get you to 10, they'll be licking their wounds there.
Excellent. Where do we go?
Wait, how about walk? Here's a hint, Slim. It's way the shit out there in the Kipple. Way, way out.
How are they getting into the city?
They've been accessing through an old sewer tunnel.
We gonna air out the reps together, or what?
I'm liking your style more and more. First come, first serve. I share my bonuses with nobody. See you on the other side, Slim.
Okay, so
No messages.
so this is the actual end game now,
I'm
lads,
in
right?
demand.
So the way the endings are split basically
Sector today as a Blade
um,
Runner shot an alleged
is
replicant in the middle of a crowded.
the way it splits between basically if you're a replicant sympathizer or you're a Blade Runner, okay? Which means that you're that kind of little bit of dialogue there basically tells us that we're in Blade Runner modes. Because like, you know, McCoy basically goes, "Fuck yeah, let's go and get them," you know. So we're now going to go out into the Kibble now and go and get our fucking get our money, get fucked, rescue our dog, all this sort of shit, right? So that's the one path that we're on. And again, there's all different permutations for how many for who are the replicants in this story and all this sort of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
On the other side is when we're the kind of replicant sympathizer. So that would be the case where basically Steele has kind of taken a more aggressive approach with you and doesn't trust you. And in that scenario, she kills your dog.
Floor number, please.
Fuck.
Destination.
Oh
Your floor number, please.
no!
Yeah.
Fucking no!
Sorry, but that's not the pathway we're on now, so the dog is fine.
No. No,
Yeah, but-
that's the case. No, she would have shot it in the. You would have come into your apartment and she would have been there, and the dog has been and the dog has been shot, because the animal attacked her.
Oh. Ah.
Now, when I say animal, in that scenario, the dog was bioengineered. Not a replicant as such, but definitely a fake animal. So it's kind of this weird kind of thing where like they kind of like are flippant with if the dog is real or not in the playthrough. Not well, like in fairness, like it doesn't actually matter at this point whether the dog is a pet. In the Blade Runner universe, all of it is kind of irrelevant. You know,
So me actually saying the dog could be a replicant.
in the scenario where we're a replicant sympathizer, that's the way it's interpreted. Yes. So basically, so either way, the end game still brings us out into the Kibble here, into where the moon bus has crashed. But one of it is either whether we're kind of with Steele or almost like. No, I don't want to say against Steele is the wrong word to use, but certainly not like, you know, we're not quite on board with her. Let's say she's a bit too extra for us, you know.
She's too on the extreme side.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah. But again, she's also been established as the most like clinical of the Blade Runners based off her stats on in the shooting range. And here we go. This is out in the Kibble now. So yeah, we need to defend ourselves until we get to the crash site.
About time you got here.
Here she is.
If I was a Nexus 6, you'd be dead.
No, you'd be dead. I heard you stumbling around back there 10 minutes ago.
I got a little hung up. Where's the moon bus?
Real close. You ready to take care of business?
Hell yeah.
There's gonna be a hot time in the old town tonight.
Okay. Away we go. We know how good one Blade Runner is. Now we got two.
I don't like it. Smells like ambush territory.
Kaboom. She was right. It was an ambush.
Always hated close spaces.
Hold on. I'll get an ambulance out here.
I screwed the pooch this time, Slim. Clovis.
It's better worse than
The
shooting it.
waste Clovis. Taught you pretty well, didn't I?
And that's Steele dead.
Damn.
Maggie! Oh, come here, girl. Come on.
And look, the doggy's here. Why is the dog out this far? Look, here she is. She's coming back to us. Look.
Yay. Been awful slow.
Well, she is very far away.
Awful mechanical.
You're mechanical.
Kaboom!
How could they?
Fuck.
They blew up the dog.
God. You bastard!
Guess he's about to go
She
John
was
Wick.
an innocent.
Uh huh.
You make them doggy than dog, you know?
That's a lie.
You don't remember it, I'm thinking. None of it. Them false memories. They really worked you good.
Come on out and show yourself, you coward.
So Sadiq is claiming that the dog was fake all along. And bam, 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 bam. Fuck off. We killed him good.
Good. Wasn't enough.
Mm-hmm. So again, whether the dog was real or not is
I
kind of
don't know. I
secondary.
don't give a shit. You shoot him again, shoot him right on the nerve center, and then just the nerve.
Exactly.
With screwdriver.
Mm-hmm. In any case, we only have one Blade Runner or one replicant left, and it's the big one.
Well, you're right. You only have one Blade Runner left as well.
Yes, true. And here he is. Look, he's
Been expecting you.
tucked up in bed, reading.
They're all dead. You're the last one. I wish I could just leave. Just power up this ship and fly away. But there's nowhere else to go. And no more time. You want me to feel sorry for you. But after what you did to Maggie, no way. And what about you, Ray McCoy? After what you did to my family, to my friends, do you not also seek forgiveness? I don't need to. I thought I could cheat my destiny. I should have cherished what little time I had instead of wasting even one precious minute on revenge. My hands are labor day and night. And
Now you can shoot. You can take over now and shoot him at any point, or you can let him
has no indulgence
finish off his book.
except what comes to her from heaven.
I'm almost because this kind of completing is showing me that as a gamer.
Mm,
It's like I want to see, like, just in case he says anything kind of cool or profound.
Mm.
yeah.
We are not warmed with thy
Oh, I know he killed a dog. Fucking kill him.
The measure is not the time to me, nor yet the space. I do see. My mind is not with thy light array. Thy terrors shall not make me afraid.
They could just like keep him around long enough to see if the dialogue repeats, and then
That's it.
Oh.
He's dead. He's done.
well, revenge denied.
Yeah, we didn't go for it. Like, yeah, at any point we could have just shot him in his bed.
I would have done that.
Why didn't they
you
do it? Yeah, I just wanted to see what I was with Jerry. I wanted to see what he was going to do. Like he was dying.
I could have used you about 10 minutes ago.
You didn't need any help, McCoy. Chief Bryant wants to talk to you. He says you're really ready now.
It never ends, does it?
You're a real Blade Runner now. Full retirement bonuses and everything. You've done a man's job, sir.
How come I don't feel good about it?
Who knows? Buy yourself another animal, maybe. A real one, not a Tyrrell fake.
She wasn't fake.
Whatever you want to believe, McCoy.
So
It
sorry.
wasn't fake to him.
Yeah.
Oh,
Was
look.
it known to everyone that the dog was fake?
animals were fake generally, so
Yes, exactly.
it,
It's more difficult. It's easier to get a bioengineered facsimile of a dog than to actually find a real one that isn't like diseased.
Okay, okay,
You know.
okay, 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 okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
when you're right, you're right.
But yeah, but also the kind of point there. Also the point is that like he didn't really care if it was a facsimile. He was still his dog. Kind of way. So the John Wick logic still kind of plays out there. But there you go. Also, fun fact, by the way, Steele could have survived there, by the way, if we were quick enough. Basically, when she says that there's an ambush, if we try and talk to her before she starts walking, we'll say that we've noticed some booby trap lines, and then she'll disarm them. So then she'd also make it to the end as well. I think she still dies in the end at some point, but I'm not too sure at which point. But I think she can also there is also a possibility that she can survive as well. So you can see why this game ends up having like nearly 13, 16 endings.
Yeah.
Based on all the different permutations of like, paths and stories and stuff,
So does this tell us as we finish who actually was replicant and who wasn't?
I actually can't remember. Funny enough. I don't think it does. Which I suppose is like kind of in keeping with the game, considering that it's all about like, seeing what you're believing and unreliable narrators and all that jazz. So
Oh yeah.
you do that. You have to go by what you've seen. Like say for instance now, like the stripper that we were interrogating earlier on, like again, it's possible for her to have been a real person. And
I believe she was a real I believe she was a real person.
Well, I don't know. She did quite well in terms of like being on fire for a few minutes and taking a couple of bullet shots more than a human does. So
Can you take bullet shots in this?
I haven't tried now in the last while. I'll be honest. Maybe I will just to see if I can keep up. But yeah, that's Blade Runner, lads. That's certainly one of the various possible endings to it. I'm sure if I played this game again, I would get something totally different, based on from what I've seen online and stuff like this. So, but you guys are watching along. Granted, it was a bit stunted. We needed plot reminders, but how did you lads find it in the end?
The main thing I think that held me back with it was I cannot remember having watched the original film, so references to locations, references to like things from the main film were lost on me, unfortunately.
Okay.
That said, fun game. There's plenty going around. Interesting mechanics with like you can really soft lock yourself if you're not being careful.
Yeah. Yes, very, very much. I could totally agree with you on that. By the way.
But like, if you're looking at what are my thoughts on it, that would kind of cover over what I'd be saying for myself anyway.
Yeah. Fair enough. And Casey, how about yourself? How did you find this game after watching it yourself? Also, no context of the movie as well, we should say, because you haven't watched either of the two movies.
Yeah, I know he said it would, but he didn't.
Has this game inspired you to go and watch?
It's put it on the list of stuff to watch.
Okay.
Like, as a game, though, I loved it. Like, I loved the mechanics of choices affecting later outcomes. I think the only thing that would, stop me was, I remember we mentioned it was out for the Switch, but the Switch port, it went a bit GoldenEye, let's say.
Yeah, it did. It wasn't a very good port at all.
That kind of made me go, Also, I find that I can't really, even if the game is quality like this one, I can't play it because just the step down in graphics, like I experienced it with GTA San Andreas. Like I got that first. Like about, I think one or last year or the year before, And just because I'm used to playing GTA 5 so much, that the step down in graphics was a bit of it for me, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. Which GTA San Andreas are you talking about? Because there was the one that there was an official apology for.
They just
Okay, yeah, I'll be more the one that I got on the PS PlayStation Store. So
Yeah.
that one like 2 years ago, whatever one was out then. But yeah, no, I really enjoy it. The hunt for different endings though is a great thing. It's not just good ending, bad ending. Normally neutral ending. There's like 16
Mm.
in that lot, so that's a bit of a. Oh.
I didn't know where we were going, and I didn't much care.
So yeah,
Away
I'll
from
give
the
it
city first, and then as far
8.9
as
out of 10.
take us.
That's pretty good. Like I say, I think from playing it myself there, I feel like I kind of, again, this is a blind playthrough, and I remember asking you guys at the start of all this, where do you want me to do like a perfect playthrough or not? And I mean, yes, I probably missed like a good percentage of a case in the game, which is the one in the Tyrrell Corporation. So we missed an entire character. Like we missed like talking to Rachel, for instance, who was like a big part of the movie. And even just that alone feels like, oh, actually, it's kind of like it isn't even like important to the plot of the game. It's just a nice little kind of cameo in a sense.
Well, no, but that is the spirit of this series.
Oh, it is, yeah, for sure.
We missed out on a game whenever we were younger, so let's try catching up on it.
Yeah, dead on, absolutely.
I'd be saying I wouldn't want a perfect playthrough because.
Away from the
like
city
I'm trying to put myself in the shoes of I got out to Extravision and I got to take a game home for a weekend.
Yeah. No, that's true. Yeah, that's fair point. Yeah.
And like that's how I'm looking at this thing that we're doing over the next wee bit. And I know some of the games I've picked up have taken the mickey with that a bit, looking at how long it took us to beat Black Mesa.
yeah, absolutely. But that's to say, like, it's in a way it's kind of weird to like fly through a game so quickly in a way, because like I wasn't expecting to have the I know the game was like a relatively quick playthrough anyway. But that's also like assuming that you found the people you want to find as well.
And then
and of course, like for something like this as well, it doesn't have to be terribly long. I think like if it was, I don't know how much you could have dragged something out like this. Like you could have like flooded with more cases and characters and all the dilemmas and stuff like that. But it wouldn't have been just the same amount of gameplay. Whereas I think because it's such a short playthrough, it actually lends to playing it again in order to see what happens. It's kind of the Ripper principle actually, because Ripper is similar, where the actual culprit is picked at the start of the game. And you basically have to try and decide between the four suspects who the real one is, and there are clues peppered between the middle and the end of the game, whereas this one's done on a much wider scale. So many different permutations. Your success and fails are assessed, and that basically decides on which kind of path the ending goes on. There's a lot of work involved in this. So absolutely, you'd like it. This would be similar to how a game like Papers, Please operates, where your decisions up to this point have led you to this ending. You still have 9 more to go to find. Go for it. And it's not as if there's a new game plus thing where you have to say find all the endings to get the correct answer. All of them are perfectly valid. You know what I mean? This is the adventure. This is the experience you had. So that's that's your canon. It doesn't have to be anything else than that.
Yeah.
So, just even from that alone, I think that's just really fucking impressive.
So
it also absolutely.
Casey gave this quite a high rating out of 10. Mine would be a bit lower than.
That's fair.
I'd kind of look at these as, with my rating, if I say something's 7 or higher, I'm telling you, go out and get it.
Not from the cops so much as the
I
memories.
would probably hold off on that. If someone similar to myself hadn't played through this, hadn't seen film,
couldn't
I'm
do
not
the
sure if
job
I'd be
anymore.
going out to say, oh,
All
you
I
have
could
to get
do
it.
is
I'd
get
be giving
away
it
Sure.
and
like
try to leave
it's a
each
solid
one as it
6.
comes. And
It's a solid. Hey,
eventually,
if it's
all
going
my
on the
wounds
cheap on
and
Steam,
memories
or if it's going on the cheap
would run out.
and you're up for it, here's what you need to know for it. It's a good game. It's well built.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't be like, oh no, you have to put down what you're doing at the minute, and you have to focus for this year
Fair,
next.
yeah.
So, mine would be a solid 6.
Okay, that's fair. Do you know what? I think my kind of arbitrary score is kind of somewhere in the middle of that. You know, I think it is my kind of brain is kind of settling on 7.5 to 8,
Where are we
and that's
going?
coming as someone who I consider
The
Blade Runner
heavens,
to be
brother.
one of my favorite movies,
To fulfill our
and the
destinies
whole
off
world and the aesthetics, the overall kind of like lessons of the movie are all kind of like, you know, like central to my way of being. Um, and it's quite nice to see, like, it's one of the few times I've seen an adaptation of a movie or a book or whatever you want to go with from movie to video game who actually gets the point of the source material.
Yeah.
You know, because a lot of the time, like we've all played tie-in games before, and a good percentage of them are shite.
Yeah.
Like, they're really, really bad. But the reason they're bad is because they're rush jobs, isn't it? It's because they need to get this movie out before this certain time, before the movie releases, or have it in time for the movie, stuff like that. Whereas, kind of like with GoldenEye to a certain degree, the GoldenEye was like the game GoldenEye wasn't in any rush to come out with the movie.
To fulfill our destinies
But what it did was it was able to actually, like, you know, work on its
And
basics
this
and
time,
actually be a really
the
tight shooter
memories we
for the time
create will
for
be
the
our
N64, and to be really fun to play. Like I said, this movie, the Blade Runner, came out in 1982, so, you know, unless there was a text adventure done around the time, you know, it wasn't as if it was any kind of, like, you know, urgency to get it out as a tie-in. So at least then it meant that the people who were involved in this game, again, convenient enough, you know, it was like there's a 50th anniversary of the movie and all this sort of stuff, so there was a bit of a convenience to it that way. But at least it meant that, like people who didn't watch the movie could play the game and then watch the movie, or again, you have a generation now of people who might have, you know, watched the movie when it came out, and now here comes the game 15 years later, and they're back in the world again. You know, it kind of catches a lot of people there.
Where are we going?
But certainly, it's nice to see them pick up on both the source material, the themes, the characters, the aesthetics, and the music. Pretty much ticked all the
And this
boxes.
time,
And even
memories
then,
we
having a
create
gameplay then
will
of
be our own.
such a fluid list of suspects, a fluid way of finding the majority of them. Again, one of them is, 3 of them are inevitable, well, 2 of them are inevitable, really. Clovis and the chef at the start.
Yeah.
Everyone else is up for grabs. Like, even Sadiq at the end, Sadiq could have been a real person there. He just could have been a sympathizer. You know what I mean? Or someone who got mind tricked into thinking he's a replicant. You know? So, like, the fact that, like, you had so many permutations there available is pretty fucking good. And I think that's in keeping with the theme of the movie as well. The fact that, like, you know, not trusting your eyes, not trusting facts and truth, and just going by off your good instinct type of thing. But yeah, pretty fucking good.
You've had me wondering now. The tie-in video game has, like, died
Hey, Slim.
as a
What?
like
Yeah.
as
You ever think of working with a partner?
Oh, it
like,
has, totally.
at what
I
stage
thought
did that
you
happen?
only
Like, that
worked
was
alone.
happening strong in the
There's a first for
PS2.
everything.
I think-
PS2, like, Harry
Yeah.
Potter games
I'm
came
much better
out.
company than a
Matrix
dog,
had
you
a
know.
tie-in game to it. Star Wars has had tie-in games to it. When did that, like, stop happening? Like, was it with the PS3 that stopped?
I PS3 makes sense. I think certain. I don't recall an era coming into the PS4 era, certainly. And I'd say that has a lot to do with the fact that the development times for games have just got so much longer than they should be.
Yeah.
Like, even, like, to the extent where, like, even your kind of annual games, like your Maddens and your FIFAs of our current kind of generations, are kind of struggling to keep up every year.
Yeah.
Like, trying to find some arbitrary innovation or some sort of gameplay that can come into this year's one. They're genuinely struggling to put something in those over a year. So a lot of these studios have come out and said, like, listen, we have this idea for like a new gimmick for this game, but it's not going to come out this year. It's going to come out in 2 years' time, because that's how long it takes for us to develop it now, between all the bells and whistles of, like, all the other gameplay concepts we have to do per year, you know. So I think the tie-in certainly, because like you can't do a quick and easy thing now anymore. But what you can do now is do something like, say, what IO are doing with the 007 game, and make just something completely original with the license. That is going to be so much better than any other tie-in, because it's going to be given time to cook and time to be hopefully good. You know what I mean? If it's a
Yeah.
disappointment, so be it. But it won't have anything to do with the fact that it's a James Bond game. It'll
Yeah.
have to do with the fact that they fucked up making the game. You know? So I think I think that's the aspect of it, that the tie-in just kind of died with the ramp up in technology and budgets, and also the fact that like they were like a good percentage of the tie-in games are all fucking terrible,
Yeah.
and we're guaranteed, and just market analysis will tell you that is always typically a bad idea unless you looked out like GoldenEye. So So there you go. Anyway, so that's my playthrough done on the bucket list, and we are now moving on then to our next one of the playthrough of the series, I should say. And well, we know the sequence from now, lads. James had Black Mesa, I had Blade Runner, and Casey, you've gone for something in the exact same vein, something nice and cyberpunk, dystopian, violence, meat shields, everything in between. Isn't that right, Casey?
I'm very, very, very. Let's put googly eyes on everything and make it stuff.
Yes, let's go with
Let's
that.
just say we're taking Mad Max Fury Road and going the opposite direction, because it's going to be a very, very bad day next time on the bucket
Not quite
list.
Fury Road, but Furry Road.
Indeed.
Yes.
I'm going
Oh
to
dear.
play Conker's Bad Fur Day.
Yes. It is gonna be fucking great. Literally cannot wait for this playthrough to start, lads. I'm not even remotely joking. Um, have you've heard of Conquered Bad Fur Day, James? Haven't you?
I've heard of it. I've never played it.
Excellent,
So
excellent.
I don't. I have no idea what to expect from this.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to start. I think, and to keep in that kind of vein, I think is the best thing to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, and Casey, you've been waiting to play this game for yonks as well. Am I right in
Yeah.
saying?
Ever since, it's kind of like a thing of, yeah, pick a game to play. I was like, what game I haven't played ever?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's what we're here for. So,
Yeah.
in any case, guys, right then, we're going to leave it here then for tonight. That's Blade Runner done and dusted on the bucket list. And when we come
Yeah.
back, then Casey's bucket list we're going through, and we're going to be playing Conker's Bad Fur Day, which is a perfectly wholesome family fun game. And don't ask questions.
Bye,
Definitely, definitely don't ask questions there. But yeah, until then, guys, we'll see you for the next one. Until then, good night, everyone.
Catch us later.
guys.